Good day, everyone. How's your day? Comment down below. Anyways, today we are going to talk about Article 2.40, the overcurrent protection. So, when does overcurrent occurs and why do we need to have an installed overcurrent protection in our homes, in the buildings, or anywhere that needs to have an installed overcurrent protection? So overcurrent occurs when the current exceeds the rated amperage capacity of a circuit. For example, sa atong homes, natay mga appliances like refrigerators. Also, overcurrent can be caused by overloading the circuit or by short circuit, a ground faults, or arc faults. Na naman the idea kung unsay meaning sa short circuit, like when a hot wire touches another hot wire, normally mag-cause na sila short circuit. And ang ground fault ug arc fault kay medyo similar na sila sa short circuit, but they have also their own characteristics. Like a ground fault commonly occurs when a hot wire contacts a grounded object like metals. Dayon, an overcurrent protection for conductors and equipment is provided to open the circuit if the current reaches a value that will cause an excessive or dangerous temperature in conductors or conductor insulation. So guys, I just wanted to clarify na naatay mga subtopics diri na matakol, although mas matakal pa siya sa mga next na articles. But I just wanted to introduce it here para lang na ating idea pag-abot na to dito na topics. Pag-abot na to dito na articles. So, next. Next is definition of terms. Current limiting overcurrent protective device. So, a device that when interrupting current in its current limiting range reduces the current flowing in the voltage circuit to a magnitude substantially less than that obtained in the same circuit if the device were replaced with a solid conductor having comparable impedance. So, pinaka-common nato na nailhan na OCPDs, overcurrent protective devices, or breakers and fuses. So, know that every electrical circuit in a home must be protected by its own OCPDs. Dapat na sila mga OCPDs sa homes na naka-properly rated for the circuit wiring. So, supervised industrial installations. The conditions for this is that the person who should monitor, first condition, the person who should monitor the service and service the system should be a licensed electrical practitioner or a non-licensed electrical practitioner pero dapat na siya kauban na licensed electrical practitioner. And next condition is the premises wiring system has 2,500 kilovolt ampere or kVA or greater of load used in industrial processes, manufacturing activities, or both as calculated in accordance with Article 2.2. So, natakal na ni. Next is the premises has at least one service or feeder that is more than 150 volts to ground and more than 300 volts face to face. Next is top conductors. Now, guys, one common misconception about top conductors is that overcurrent protection is not required. Pero, it should be noted that in most instances, overcurrent protection is required at the termination point of the top conductors or ahead of its point of supply. Okay, so 2.40.1.4 or the protection of conductors. So, conductors shall be protected in accordance with their ampacities. So, kapila naman ta nakatakal about ampacities, and ampacity is the maximum current na makarry sa atong conductor continuously. So, na naman ti idea kung sa mga ampacitance sa mga conductors. Otherwise, a power loss hazard. A conductor overload protection shall not be required where the interruption of the circuit would create a hazard. Rather shall provide short circuit protection. So that's it. Next is device rated 800 amperes or less. So again, devices rated 800 amperes or less These are the next higher standard overcurrent device rating shall be permitted to be used provided all the following conditions are met. So these are the conditions. The conductors being protected are not part of a multi-outlet branch circuit supplying receptacles for a cord and plug connected portable loads. So ang multi-outlet is a circuit that supplies two or more outlets. Next is the ampacity of the conductor does not correspond with the standard ampere rating of a fuse or a circuit breaker without overload trip adjustments above its rating. Last conditions is the next higher standard rating selected does not exceed 800 amperes. So letter C is devices rated over 800 amperes. Last one is devices rated 800 amperes or less. This one is over. So below is the standard ampere rating for breakers 15, 20, and so on. The ampacity of the conductor it protects shall be equal to or greater than the rating of the overcurrent devices. So no guys na kaning mga ratings nato dire is mas matakal pa nato later on. So next is small conductors. So guys, I think mali ni siya, and I'm sorry, but the right one or the overcurrent protection for small conductors shall not exceed 15 amperes for 2.0 millimeters squared, 20 amperes for 3.5 millimeters squared, and 30 amperes for 5.5 millimeters squared copper, or 15 amperes for 3.5 millimeters squared and 25 amperes for 5.5 millimeters squared aluminum and copper-clad aluminum after any correction factors for ambient temperature and number of conductors have been applied. So, nag-research man gud ko about ani and lahi ako nabutang and I'm sorry. Next is top conductors. Okay, again, transformer secondary conductors. Actually guys, this part kay mas ma-discuss pa siya sa I think article 4. And but to introduce ang dili protected by the primary overcurrent protective device sa transformer kay ang single phase other than 2 wire, multi-phase other than delta 3 wire, and a protected by overcurrent protection device is a single phase transformer having a 2 wire single voltage secondary or a 3 phase and delta connected transformer having a 3 wire single voltage secondary. So these shall be permitted to be protected by overcurrent protection provided on the primary, the supply, side of the transformer, provided this protection in accordance with 4.50.1.3 and does not exceed the value determined by multiplying the secondary conductor ampacity by the secondary to primary transformer voltage ratio. So next is the protection of flexible cords, flexible cables, and fixture wires. Below are the pictures of those cords and cables. So these materials, the flexible cord and flexible cables, including tensile cord and extension cords, and fixture wires, kay kinahanglan pud ni sila protektahan or shall be protected against overcurrent by either the following. First is ampacities. So the materials like flexible cables, flexible cords, flexible cables, and fixture wires, kay kinahanglan po na sila protektahan in accordance with their ampacities. Like different wires man jud is have different wires have different ampacities. So nganong kinahanglan pod ni sila kaning mga cables protektahan na it is in order to protect it from overload conditions and from short circuit or ground faults conditions. So mao na reason. So Natakal naman po nato ang mga ampacity sa different wires since first year, and now last meeting po gi-introduce ni sir ang mga ampacities also. So next is branch circuit overcurrent device. Flexible cords shall be protected where supplied by a branch circuit in accordance with these methods. First is supply cord of listed appliance or portable lamps, where flexible cord or tensile cord is approved for and used with a specific listed appliance or portable lamp. It shall be considered to be protected when applied within the appliance or portable lamp listing requirements. Next is fixture wire. Fixture wire shall be permitted to be tapped to the branch circuit conductor of a branch circuit in accordance with the following. So mauna sila. 20 ampere circuit for 18 AWG up to 15 meter of run length. 20 ampere circuit for 16 AWG up to 30 meter of run length. 20 ampere circuit for 2 millimeter squared, 1.6 millimeter diameter and larger, and so on. Next is extension cord sets and field assembled extension cord sets. So these also shall be considered to be protected when applied within the extension cord listing requirements. For field assembled extension cord sets, kay dapat shall be permitted to be supplied by a branch circuit in accordance with 20 ampere circuits to 60 AWG and larger. So we go to standard ampere ratings. So here we are going to discuss about the ratings, the standard ampere ratings of the overcurrent protective devices. First is fuses and fixed trip circuit breakers. So the standard ampere ratings for fuses and inverse time circuit breakers shall be considered 15, 20, 25 up to 600 amperes. Note that inverse time circuit breaker have both thermal and instantaneous trip features and present to trip and standardized levels. This kind of circuit breaker is the most common type of breaker. Additionally, standard ampere rating for fuses shall be 1, 3, 6, 10, and 601. The use of fuses and inverse time circuit breakers with non-standard ampere ratings shall be permitted. So guys, we should know na kaning mga standard ampere ratings nato is also pag magbutang ta sa ato ang balay, dili ta pwede magbuot-buot o gamit bisag asa ani, dapat kabalo ta and nakakonsulta sa mas nakabalo or should I say licensed electrical engineer para dili pud ta magbuot kay kung magbuot-buot ka, there are instances na mag-cause siya like sunog or mubuto kalit imo ang fuse. I mean, it may cause overload sa imo ang circuit. Next is adjustable trip circuit breakers. So the adjustable circuit breakers are intended for use in combination with motor starters with overload relays for the protection of motor circuits from short circuit. So for standard ampere rating of these adjustable trip circuit breakers, the rating of adjustable trip circuit breakers having external means for adjusting the current setting not meeting the requirements shall be the maximum setting possible. Next is the restricted access adjustable trip circuit breaker. A circuit breaker that has restricted access to the adjusting means shall be permitted to have an ampere ratings that is equal to the adjustable circuit current setting, long time peak up setting. Restricted access shall be defined as located behind one of the following. First is removal of unsealable covers over the adjusting means. Second is bolted equipment enclosure doors, and third one is locked doors accessible only to qualified personnel. So, fuses or circuit breakers in parallel. Know that fuses and circuit breakers shall be permitted to be connected in parallel. Pero, ang mga individual circuit breakers and fuses or combination thereof kay okay ra sila, dili sila connected og parallel. Kay ang connect og parallel ang mga connected parallel where they are factory assembled in parallel. Next is the supplementary overcurrent protection. So again, 2.40.1.10 is a supplementary overcurrent protection. So, as defined, used for luminaires, lighting fixtures, appliances, and other equipment or for internal circuits and components of equipment. Guys, know that supplementary overcurrent protection only provides limited overcurrent protection but cannot be used as a required circuit overcurrent device. So, mao ni siya diri guys, kani siya. Mao ni siya. And a supplementary overcurrent protection device, it is usually an internal fuse. Internal fuse lang siya guys. Next is electrical system coordination. So, this is the system where an orderly shutdown is required to minimize the hazard to personnel and equipment. A system of coordination based on the following two conditions shall be permitted. First is coordinated short circuit protection. The other one is overload indication based on monitoring system or devices. So, guys, know that para ma-minimize ang personal hazard and equipment damage, kani siya kay ang kaning monitoring system kay mag-cause ni siya conditions na mag-alarm para to allow corrective actions or an orderly shutdown sa device. So para po dili kaayo dako ang hazard na ma-effect. Next is ground fault protection of equipment. So, the ground fault protection of equipment shall be provided in accordance with the provision of 2.30.7.6 for solidity grounded wire electrical system of more than 150 volts to ground but not exceeding 600 volts face to face for each individual device used as a building or structure main disconnecting means rated 1000 amperes or more. So the provision of this section shall not apply to the disconnecting means for the following: continuous industrial processes where a non-orderly shutdown will introduce additional or increased hazards, installation where ground faults protection is provided by other requirements for services or feeders, and fire pumps. Under 2.40.2 is the location, the underground conductors. So above is the picture of underground cable construction. So mao ni siya ang conductor shield, kani ang insulation shield, metallic shield, and jacket. So mo ni ang pinaka-cover niya ang jacket. So in underground conductors, overcurrent devices is required. A fuse or an overcurrent trip unit of a circuit breaker shall always be connected in series with its each underground conductor. Next is circuit breaker as overcurrent device. It shall open all underground conductors. It shall open all ungrounded conductors rather of the circuit both manually and automatically. So wait. So okay guys, these three conditions are under circuit breakers as overcurrent device. So first is multi-wire branch circuit that supply only line to neutral loads. Individual one-pole breakers with identified handle ties are permitted for a multi-wire branch circuit that only supplies line to neutral loads. So in grounded single-phase and three-wire DC circuits, individual single-pole circuit breakers with identified handle ties shall be permitted as the protection for each underground conductor for line-to-line connected loads for single-phase circuit or three-wire direct current circuits. Lastly is a three-phase and two-phase system. Branch circuit that supply two-phase and three-phase line-to-line loads on system not exceeding 120 volts to ground. So the location in circuit, of course, ang mga overcurrent protection devices kay shall be provided in each ungrounded circuit conductor, and of course shall be located at the point where the conductors receive their supply. Under this subtopic of location in circuit is the branch circuit conductors. So if the branch circuit conductors met the requirements specified sa Article 2, specifically Article 2.10.2.1, then these branch circuit top conductors kay ma-permit ni siya to have its overcurrent protection located as specified in that section. Next is the feeder taps. For feeder taps, without overcurrent protection, the conductor shall be permitted to be tapped at the tap to a feeder as specified in the following. First is tap not over 3,000 millimeter long, where the length of the tap conductors does not exceed 3,000 millimeter and the tap conductors comply with all the following. The ampacity of the tap conductors. The tap conductors do not extend beyond the switchboards. Next is the tap supplying of transformer, primary plus secondary not over 7,600 millimeter long. And number 4 is outside taps of unlimited length. So in 2.40.2.3, the grounded conductor, with any conductor that is intentionally grounded, then there should be no overcurrent device shall be connected in series. So walay dapat connected in series if intentionally grounded ang conductor. 2.40.2.5 location in or on the premises. So diri guys, first is the accessibility. Wait, I will be discussing the location in or in. So location in or on the premises, so asa man malocate ato ang overcurrent devices sa ato ang homes. So first is accessibility. Okay, so dapat ang ato pod overcurrent devices kay dapat accessible siya. Like dapat ang usual is 2 meter or 6 feet 7 inch above the floor. Nganuman kay in case of emergency, gadali-dali mo ang mamang palungon niya inyo ang circuit breaker. So maabot ra niya and dapat dali ra siya makita. Accessible. Letter B is occupancy. So as I have said, occupancy, each occupant shall have ready access to all overcurrent devices protecting the conductor supplying that occupancy. Letter C is not exposed to physical damage. Of course, dapat ang ato ang overcurrent protecting devices protective rather, kay dapat located siya where they will not be exposed to physical damage. For example, gibutang nimo siya dito sa kilid sa inyo ang sulod sa inyong kwarto sa kilid, tapos ang inyong atop ang alkoba ninyo katagakon, o di exposed na siya sa physical damage. So dapat tan-awon pud ninyo kung safe ba nga ibutang dito inyo ang overcurrent devices. Next is not in vicinity of easily ignitable material. Dili pud ninyo pwede siya ibutang sa inyong kusina tapos dito magluto-luto na. Dali ra daghan ang or mga kahoy nga dali ra mag-ignite. So bawal siya ibutang dito sa places na daghan og ignitable materials para safe. So ibutang siya sa most common na butangan nato ang overcurrent devices kay sa mga pader. Next is not located in bathrooms. So of course dili pwede nga ibutang nato ato ang overcurrent devices sa sulod sa CR. So dapat not located in bathrooms. 2.40.3 is enclosures. So under enclosures are protection from physical damage. So na-discuss naman ako ni ganiha, overcurrent device shall be protected from physical damage by one of the following: installation in enclosures, cabinets, cut-out boxes or equipment and assembles, and more. So next is operating handle. So dapat ang operating handle pud sa ato ang circuit breaker kay very accessible. Bawal nimo siya isulod sa isa ka box tapos pag emergency kinahanglan pa nimo abrihan tong box nga nakalock. Dapat easily very accessible imo ang circuit breaker, ang handle, para kung in case of emergency dali ra siya i-off. So damp or wet locations. So enclosure for overcurrent devices in damp or wet locations shall comply with 3.12.1.2a. So next article mas matakal pa ning damp or wet locations, but to think na dili jud pud na to ibutang ato ang circuit breaker sa mga wet locations. So para safe. Next is vertical position. So we should always mount our circuit breaker vertically. So vertical position. So our overcurrent protection devices enclosure in a vertical position. Pwede na ta siya ibutang as horizontally, knowing na dapat ato ang handle sa ato ang circuit breaker kay operated vertically. The up position of the handle must be on position. So an enclosure that contains one row of circuit breakers can be mounted horizontally as long as the circuit breakers are installed so that up is on. However, an enclosure that contains a panel board with multiple circuit breaker on opposite sides of each other must be mounted vertically. So always vertical jud ang ato ang circuit breaker, bawal diagonal. So, or horizontal dapat. Kung horizontal ka dapat kay vertical imo ang handle dapat vertical, so follow the handle jud. So this picture tara okay, single circuit breaker nara. 2.40.4 disconnecting and guarding. So disconnecting means for fuses under disconnecting and guarding shall be provided on the supply side of all fuses in circuit over 140 volts to ground and cartridge fuses in circuits of any voltage. 2.40.5 the plug fuses, fuse holders, and adapters. So under this are the maximum voltages. So plug fuses shall be permitted to be used in the following circuits. Circuits not exceeding 125 volts between conductors, and circuits supplied by a system having a grounded neutral where the line to neutral voltage does not exceed 150 volts. Letter B is marking. Each fuse holder and adapter shall be marked with its ampere rating. So above is a picture. It's a picture of fuse that has a markings. So nara ilang markings guys. Primary markings on fuse cap. So refer to this picture guys. Next is hexagonal configuration. Plug fuses of 15 ampere and lower rating shall be identified by hexagonal configuration of the window cap or the prominent part to distinguish them from fuses or higher ampere rating. No energized parts. Pag ang fuses kay ma-installed na nato, dapat wala siya exposed energized parts. E is screw shell. The screw shell of a plug-type fuse holder shall be connected to the load side of the circuit. So 2.40.5.2 is the Edison-based fuses. So the classification of this fuse is plug fuses of the Edison-based type shall be classified at not over 125 volts and 30 ampere and below. So if there is no evidence of overfusing or tampering, these plug fuses of the Edison base shall be used only for replacement in existing installations. Next is Edison base fuse holder. So, mao ni siya ang picture sa fuse holder. Fuse holders of the Edison base type shall be installed only where they are made to accept type S fuses by the use of adapters. So, type S fuses shall be classified at not over 125 volts and 0 to 15 amperes, 16 to 20 amperes, and 21 to 30 amperes. So, these fuses are non-interchangeable, meaning these type S fuses of an ampere classification as specified in Article 2 shall not be interchangeable with a lower ampere classification. So, bawal siya sa i-change sa mga lower ampere classifications. They shall be designed so that they cannot be used in any fuse holder other than a type S fuse holder. So, type S fuse holder dapat siya, or a fuse holder with a type S adapter inserted. Next is type S fuses, adapters, and fuse holders. So, mani shape picture guys. So, purpose to fit Edison-based fuse holder. Type S adapter shall fit Edison-based fuse holders. B. To fit type S fuses only, non-removable. Type S adapters shall be designed so that once inserted in a fuse holder, they cannot be removed permanently. Non-tamperable. Type S fuses, fuse holders, and adapters shall be designed so that tampering or shunting, bridging would be difficult. So, gubo na lang jud siya. Interchangeability. Dimensions of type S fuses, fuse holders, and adapters shall be standardized to permit interchangeability, regardless of the manufacturer. So, hapit na guys. Next is 2.40.6 cartridge fuses and fuse holders. Kalma lang guys, no? Murag hapit-hapit na tamahuman. Or murag na ako sa mga half slides. Under this part is a maximum voltage 300 volt type. So kani siyang cartridge fuse and fuse holders of this type kay shall be permitted to be used in the following: circuits not exceeding 300 volts between conductors. So dapat magamit rin siya sa mga circuits na dili mag-exceed og 300 volts between conductors. Next is single-phase line-to-neutral circuits supplied from a three-phase, four-wire solidly grounded neutral source where the line-to-neutral voltage does not exceed 300 volts. Kapit lang guys, no? Murag hapit na ta. Letter B, non-interchangeable 0 to 6,000 ampere cartridge fuse holders. So, fuse holder shall be designed so that it will be difficult to put a fuse of any given class into a fuse holder that is designed for current lower or voltage higher than that of the class to which the fuse belongs. Fuse holders for current limiting fuses shall not permit insertion of fuses that are not current limiting. So as I have said, marking for fuses. So dapat kinahanglan jud nato na no na kinahanglan nato may balaan na ang mga fuses kay na sila yung markings either attached to the barrel showing the attached to the barrel or printing on the fuse barrel. Ang mga rating, ang mga markings na nakabutang ani na fuses are the following. Ampere rating. So gipakita naman ako sa inyo ang picture ganiha. Dapat na ang ampere rating, voltage rating, interrupting rating where other than 10,000 amperes, current limiting where applicable, the name of or trademark of the manufacturer. So importante jud na naay name or trademark sa manufacturer. Also for us to know na kung unsa ang okay na fuses kay namang gid fuses uban na fake or dili maayo ang brand. So at least makabalo ta kung unsay manufacturers, kung kinsa ang manufacturers. So letter D, renewable fuses. So ang mga fuses na permitted to use for replacement in existing installation where there is no evidence of overfusing or tampering kay ang mga fuses na class H. So, hinumdumin na ninyo class, ang mga fuses na class H kay pwede na sila for replacement. Classifications 2.40.6.2 cartridge fuses and fuse holders shall be classified according to voltage and amperage ranges. Fuses rated 600 volts nominal or less shall be permitted to be used for voltages at or below the ratings. So, hapit na. 2.40.7 circuit breakers. So, above is the picture of circuit breakers. I think nakakita naman jud mo circuit breakers kay murag naa naman tani sa atong mga balay guys, no? So, under this part is 2.40.7.1 method of operation. So, method of operation, circuit breaker shall be trip-free and capable of being closed and opened by manual operation. So, dapat bahalag mag-manual operation ta sa certain circuit breakers, dapat ma-operate na to na siya. So, mo na siya method sa circuit breakers. So, 2.40.7.2 indicating a circuit breaker shall clearly indicate whether they are in the open off or closed on position. Where the circuit breaker handles are operated vertically rather than rationally or horizontally, the up position of the handle shall be the on position. Of course, the up position of the handle of the circuit wheel shall be the on position para pag na emergency, of course, kay pag dire-diretso ta pagpalong igo na lang ta magbira. Pero kung atong mama ang mubira, mukuyog man ang breaker. Joke lang. Next is 2.40.7.3 non-tamperable. So I have already discussed this and also the marking. So here are the example of circuit breakers with markings. Dapat durable and visible. Dapat jud makita nato ang markings. Location, dapat lang location po. Actually, ang location sa marking, circuit breaker rated at 100 amperes or less than 600 volts or less shall have the ampere rating molded, stamped, etched, or similar mark into their handles or escutcheon areas. Interrupting ratings used as switches, voltage marking. Next is applications. A circuit breaker with a straight voltage rating such as 240 volts or 480 volts shall be permitted to be applied in a circuit in which the nominal voltage between any two conductors does not exceed the circuit breaker's voltage rating. 2.40.7 wait 0.7 series ratings. Circuit breakers shall meet the requirements selected under engineering supervision in existing installations. The series rated combination device shall be selected by a licensed professional engineer engaged primarily in the design or maintenance of electrical installations. B is tested combinations. The combination of the line side overcurrent device and load side circuit breakers is tested and marked on the end use equipment such as switchboards and panel boards. Lastly, motor contributions. Series ratings shall not be used where motors are connected on the load side of the high-rated overcurrent device. The sum of the motor full load current exceeds 1% of the interrupting rating of the lower-rated circuit breakers. I guess this part will be discussed in the preceding articles. Supervised industrial installations. So, supervised industrial installation. So, na-tackle naman natin ang ganihan na akong giingon is the person to service the system should always be the licensed electrical practitioner or someone with a licensed electrical practitioner. At 2.40.9, the overcurrent protection over 600 volts nominal. Under this part is the 2.40.9.1 is the feeder and branch circuits. Under this is the location and type of protection. It shall have overcurrent protection in each underground conductor located at a point where the conductor receives its supply. So, mo kung gingon dapat na overcurrent protection sa located the point where the conductor receives its supply. B is protective device. The protective devices shall be capable of detecting and interrupting all values of current that can occur at their location in excess of their trip setting of melting point. So, letter C is conductor protection. So, dapat na po conductor protections. The operating time of the protective device, the available short circuit current, and the current use shall be coordinated to prevent damaging or dangerous temperature in conductors or conductor installation under short circuit conditions. So next is 2.40.9.2, the additional requirements for feeders. Letter A is rating or setting of overcurrent protective device. The continuous ampere rating of a fuse shall not exceed 3 times the ampacity of the conductors. And the long time trips element setting of a breaker or the minimum trip setting of an electronically actuated fuse shall not exceed 6 times the ampacity of the conductor. Lastly is the rating or setting of overcurrent protective devices. Feeder taps. I'm sorry guys. The last one, letter B, is feeder taps. Conductors tapped to a feeder shall be permitted to be protected by the feeder overcurrent device, where that overcurrent device also protects the tap conductor. So letter B, guys, is feeder taps. That's it, guys. Thank you for listening, electrical practitioners, and I hope you understand something, and I hope you learned something on my discussions today, and I hope that everyone understand. And please comment down below your questions, and I hope I can answer your questions. And thank you very much. And I would like to sum up my discussions about overcurrent protection is that it is very important to have an overcurrent protection, especially in our homes, that we somehow don't know what happened, especially na ay mga hazardous or phenomena na kakahitabo. So dapat safe ta always sa atong home, and dapat ang ato ang overcurrent protection devices kay also safe for safety purposes. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Please guys subscribe to my YouTube channel at Halam Dimas in there, and I will post this also with these 46 minutes. I hope I instilled something in your mind. Thank you. Bye bye.